heroes they end up picking for this first match in a best of 5.
Right, Ninjas in Pyjamas is actually the squad that first kind of showed us the triple support, triple tank composition. It was actually really fast at pushing through payload maps, and that actually has been adopted by a lot of teams since the patch came out, including Luminosity with Too Strong, the former Too Strong squad, as well as NRG. Actually, Seagull and friends have tried it a couple of times, mostly on King of the Hill maps, but yeah, it's really starting to take off. Even some lesser known teams are actually starting to use triple support, triple tank to really beat some of the higher tier teams that we would not have expected. Teams are qualifying all over the place for things like ESL King of the Hill. That's where I saw Team of Snow actually bust out the triple support, triple tank. So NIP, true innovators, now actually not actually using it to get us started on defense, as Zappis will be on the Hanzo rather than the Zenyatta that normally goes with that comp.
It's going to be pretty fun. We'll see how well he does on Hanzo here as they get started on the defense. We can see Toxicant as well is going to be coming out of the gates as far. Yes, indeed. So all sorts of fun and games compared to the Overwatch we saw as recently as a month ago. He's going to get the first pickup onto Kainel as well, and that's particularly useful because, of course, you don't actually get the charge up that quickly onto the Nano Boost.
Right, Nano Boost does charge incredibly fast, and picking off the Ana very quickly is going to be very helpful. Sita and Zappa is also falling, but Zappa is actually getting a double kill before going down. Will slow down the push of the offense. They're going to wait for their team to get back into play, but it's really actually worse for the defense. Ana is super slow mobility. We do see a switch onto Zen now after who was at Zappas actually it fell on coming back to Zen for that triple support.
We'll see how well that ends up for him. Toxicant still trying to hunt down Ana, actually doing a good job of making sure the supports aren't there right now. Very close to an ultimate available, getting a double and trying to get a third. Unfortunately, with the barrage, won't be able to, as Sata comes in and mops up. There's the pulse bomb, and Bromas manages to grab a kill off onto Mapu as well.
The offense actually pushing through now. Numlocked on that D.Va actually did a lot with the suit and actually managed to stay alive pretty long after losing the suit to secure that first point. 5 minutes and 17 seconds left on the clock now to try and finish the map. We got Bromas darting forward, trying to prevent that defense from actually posting up on the high ground. We do already have Himsy and Fraggy up there. It's that Roadhog Reinhardt combo that they're quite good at playing. And actually notice we see Pharah and Mercy jumping up onto the kind of secret ledge here, the attacker's assassin's ledge, try and knock people off, but Toxic is taking up like now to get started.
Right now, they're looking for opportunities to go in and basically try and do damage very deep indeed. Rukeus now coming in with Mercy, getting the res off. They've got 5v6 at the moment. Can they actually make it count? We're looking at Linkser a little bit here, not quite able to get the damage done with Genji in time to stop the sound barrier from coming through. Him's got a whole hog available, and actually Fraggy and Kainel both potentially can push forward here, so we'll see what they do.
That fight was very disjointed. We had a res actually come out just to bring Toxic in. A defensive graviton surge actually hits the offense. Teams were kind of spread out on the team. UK holds bets because he lost graviton. But what the intention was there, that basically it did allow Dignitas to get pretty easily with that combo. So yeah. Go down, kill against it by himself. Yeah, Dragon Blade out now. Basically, maybe Zap is getting.
Oh man, and stuff going down everywhere right now. This is a little bit ridiculous. Fraggy actually starting that off with the Ana coming in, boosting him as well, managing to pick off a kill too, and doing it very well with an Earth Shatter there, getting a double kill towards the end of this fight. It looks like NIP are blazing through right now, able to hold here against Team Dignitas.
Yeah, they regained control of the cart with some excellent tank play. Himsy getting hook after hook, and Zenyatta manages to keep him alive throughout. I want to call out Bromas as actually the person on Dignitas that's been getting the most kills at Reaper. They've been triple offense here. Now Soldier, Reaper, and Pharah to take advantage of the range that they'll need. Himsy and Fraggy again ready for this combo to come in, but the rest of the team moving around the side of the church now coming in, taking 3 shots across the way. Toxic and Gracie is waiting for their moment to streak, as it were.
No ultimate spinnable yet from the side of NIP. We have got two. Toxican coming in with the rocket barrage. Not actually able to get any purchase, and that's a little bit of a whiff. Here comes Himsy with the first kill, and there's the nano boost onto the Reinhardt. So Fraggy absolutely going to town. He still, by the way, has his Earth Shatter available as well, so don't mistake that for him not having his ultimate. Toxican looking for damage, gets picked off by Canel, and most of these guys are now absolutely going to town. And as a result, the ultimate advantage as well swings forward in the way of NIP. Ooh, and that, well, I guess he wanted to rejoin his team.
It was a slightly better Graviton Surge this time around. It did only catch 2 members, but they were able to get the kill on Toxican, which is super important as that Pharah has been dishing out a lot of damage throughout this match. You can see the offense grouping up together now outside of the church. They only have 2 minutes left to try and grab this last stretch here. Checkpoint B. The defense, though, puts it up on the high ground, not going to allow the receiver on the side again. Now drop down as the services. And now Sound Barrier and Olaf out for the defense. There's that Earth Shatter from right. Ooh. Then getting the fan all the way on the other side.
My ultimate is charging.
Oh man, and right now this is looking incredibly difficult at the moment for the side of Team Dignitas. We need to find a way through for them. They've only got 1 minute and 20 seconds. Realistically, that's going to be 2 good pushes coming out of here from you. Let's see if that's possible. We are, by the way, aware of the audio issues with Joshi. What we'll probably do is reset the call in just a moment. Feel free to do that whenever. Okay? And right now we've got Marfu holding on from up above, just continuously trying to get some damage down there. Fraggy once again going in with the nano boost. Is this going to be useful for him? He needs to try and get his ultimate. There we go. He's got that, but in time actually for Zappos to go ahead and pop that Transcendence as well. So the team's going to be able to get a little bit more longevity. He's still on the payload and still with the ultimate available.
With that Earth Shatter hitting the Toxican and Loser and Fraggy starting things off right for the defense. We've got a sleeping Reinhardt on the side of the offense. Good shot from Anna out of that fight, but Dignitas looks like they are still surging forward. Graviton Surge specifically going to allow them to get a couple of kills onto the tanks and support, finally clean up and keep that payload. 20 seconds left on that next checkpoint. They're lucky to secure that. Now only 1:49 to try and finish the entire match.
Almost ready.
That the longest.
Now as they move on to the final point, we see Fraggy on the ledge, just providing a little bit of cover for his teammates, patiently waiting for these guys to move on through. Of course, it would be nice to get a full hold. If they're not able to do that, though, that's fine. And that is an absolute charge and a half, going straight through most of Team Dignitas there, as Fraggy once again seems to be the catalyst for this team moving forward.
Yeah, Fraggy doing a great job opening up, allowing it to get in their proper positions and taking out Let's here. Drake is actually on Anna this time around, not see, so have a offense, but as we move forward, it's going to be Toxican and Numlock that I'm watching. And Zarya on this time. Wait, the team is getting set up. You have Sound Barrier and Anna.
Oh, and Fraggy once again coming in with the nano boost, though. Hang on, he doesn't even have to use the Earth Shatter. He just walks on in. And oh my goodness, that is 4 people down. This is what happens when you swing the hammer in a confined space. Kids, don't try this at home.
And yeah, Fraggy just combining with that nano boost that allows him to just sweep out that entire the other option, though, of course, to just come through this area, but then you've got tons of firepower. Going really a lot of damage up while shooting down.
This is it. We're into overtime now. Graviton Surge coming out, and we have got Reaper coming in to try and get off a couple. Himsy and Fraggy combined, though, will be able to get the kills. Team Dignitas are falling, and that is going to be round 1 ended. 54.74 meters on the final point, and we're now going to be switching sides. Josh, let's go ahead and reset the call quickly, shall we?
Sure.
And that's how this works. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was only the first half, of course, and we are here in a best of 5. So, all sorts of fun and games to come. We'll see We'll see what happens on the reverse side. So far, I have to say, Ninjas in Pyjamas doing a pretty good job against Team Dignitas, able to essentially confine them and prevent them from completing the map here on Dorado. Oh no, Joshi, talk to me.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can. It was just a few seconds. I just wanted some extra drama in my life. I feel like
Skype
I've got
was
that now.
calling continuously, so now it should be fine.
We were calling your name.
No, just the annoying beeps and boops. And then I lost connection to game server.
Oh, super sad
So I'll try to
times.
get back in.
You know, that's actually been happening to me a little bit lately, but I'm not 100% sure if it's an ISP problem, because I just moved, so it's really difficult for me to diagnose where the issues are coming from. But luckily, the stream's been okay so far, so I'm going to assume something is doing all right.
Someone else got kicked from our game too. I think it was one of the Korean casters.
That's right, yeah.
Got dropped immediately, so I'll try and make my way back in now. Should be able to... Maybe you can invite me now that I'm back online.
Just have some.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Alright, so hopefully those audio issues will relax a little bit.
Let's gather some valuable data on this
We can
mission.
cast some Overwatch.
Yep, and you sound perfect and crystal clear now as well. Hopefully no
Great.
more rip mics in the chat, but thanks for letting us know anyway. Much appreciated. Team Dignitas are now going to be defending. They were not able to complete the map against Ninjas in Pyjamas, who are going to be attacking. And once again, Zappis with the Hanzo to start things off. Yippee!
That's right, so we've got a distance marker set by Dignitas that Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to be looking to be. They are coming out of the gate with the triple support, triple tank, rather than having Zenyatta start us out. Zappis is going to be on that Hanzo, so I like the evolution of the strategy that we're seeing. Hanzo is much buffer than he used to be when they started using this strat, especially with the balance change coming in last Thursday, allowing him to basically be a log shooting automatic weapon. Just continue breaking down shields with ease. Scatter shots are now even deadlier than before, so everything coming up Hanzo this time around.
He's been working out, man. That's the only explanation. Oh, and he gets frozen. And all of a sudden, all the muscles in the world are not going to count for anything right now, as we have a big push on to the cart. And we have the res immediately coming out from Team Dignitas as the brawl goes full on into the marketplace. Lynx are coming in with the Blizzard as well. But out of the ashes, Mafu actually getting a double kill in the middle of that. And Team Dignitas look to be in control of the point.
Yeah, Mercy coming into play big there for that fight as Tracy is actually brought back up pretty early on in the fight. You can see a big dragon running through the defense now. Of course, they're going to scatter and not allow that to take them out, but Ninjas in Pyjamas moving forward. Zappis already rebuilding his ult with some nice scatter shots. There's a Reaper around the back line now, just looking for a death blossom opportunity. Bromas could come in here. He is going to find a little bit of damage, but gets moved immediately by Sita, and then hugged away by Himsy and taken out.
Sita at the moment's got sound barrier available as well, so this is very, very good for the offense here. We can see race cards and Yada being as annoying as omnically possible, I should say. But Artia is going to go down in the end there. Sata will not have to use his ultimate, and this allows Ninjas in Pyjamas to get up to the first, or second rather, particularly important choke point. The archway, some argue, is a really important point to get across, especially if you're producing a very high defense. But of course, now this checkpoint will give them a little bit of extra time as well.
And now with the defense posting up on the high ground, we had no time for Pyjamas to really get up there and try to dislodge them. But they also don't really have a good composition for really dealing with the high ground. You can see Lynx are on the enemy, shelling down at them from one side while the rest of the defense all posted up. Anna just shooting freely down into the pit there. You've got Toxic in just zapping down Arya, but finally they jump down, they trigger the down there. Raggy and get caught by the Earth Center, but the offensive Graviton Surge is actually going to help out more than anything. Bromas is going to be the last one there to feel Reinhardt's wrath with that mana boost. Still try and keep that distance more.
And that's another great example, actually, of why... one thing that's quite interesting here as Hanzo unleashes his ultimate once again. We have seen a lot of situations... Oh, hang on a second. We're actually collapsing out from Ninjas in Pyjamas now. So they are completely and utterly destroying Team Dignitas on this point. Where was the defense there? Oh my goodness. Josh, you have to say, every single nano boost onto Reinhardt has been really on point. And we went through kind of a phase where nano boosts on Reinhardt were very hit and miss. But this team has been nailing almost every one.
Yeah, Ninjas in Pyjamas have been cruising through. You've got the nano boosts on point for fragging. This is something obviously they've got a ton of practice and experience with. Now they are just rounding the last corner. Dignitas really have to use all I would expect a nano boosted Death Blossom perhaps, or a nano boosted Reinhardt plus Death Blossom to try and keep this under control, but so far no death going either side, waiting for this engagement. There's a Graviton Surge from the defense, catching 3 of the offense. 2 go down immediately, followed by Himsy, so Dignitas picks up the Graviton Surge, able to hang on there. Fraggy did catch the nano boost, able to mow down everyone without his team supporting him, and that team kill for the defense still have Earth Shatter, Nano Boost, and Death Blossom available.
That was so needed right there for Team Dignitas. They were so close to losing it outright. They still have to hold this position for 3 minutes and 40 seconds. This is going to be incredibly difficult for them. We need to see how well they can actually hold on. This is incredibly tough. They're moving on in now. Ninjas in Pyjamas trying to close this out as quickly as they possibly can.
Hello.
And they're going to have plenty of opportunities available.
Okay. Well, go ahead and cast this.
So this is, oh my god, I mean, there's nothing left to cast of the attacking team just now. It feels like Team Dignitas has entirely woken up and gone, oh yeah, guys, we have a point to defend here. And that is 2 points in a row. They've been able to get a complete team wipe. But the worry is the time. 3 minutes remaining for them to push the payload another 5 meters.
Alright, I'm going to call you now.
Alright, we can do that. Not a problem whatsoever. Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, hopefully now that I am the host of the call, Dorsar is streaming, so it makes sense that the quality might drop a bit. But we've got ults flying out everywhere. Sound barrier here for one side as the Graviton Surge comes out for the side of the defense. They are going to catch several members of the attacking team, but the deaths all going to Dignitas. Ninjas in Pyjamas will successfully push that card.
And that means we have a 1-0 advantage to Ninjas in Pyjamas now in this best of 5. This is going to be an interesting point where I realize I've turned off my video and Joshy might be cut off at the shoulders. We'll find out in just a sec. But first, of course, we have a play of the match. Ladies and gentlemen, Ninjas in Pyjamas take a 1-0 lead in this best of 5. Don't forget, this is a round-robin group. Oh, and absolutely no surprises there. Fraggy with so many excellent plays, and this is just
yeah, this is the huge area where we thought Earthshatter might come into play, but actually the Nano Boosted Reinhardt just runs in, hammer swinging, and takes out basically everyone anyway, with a nice helicopter spin there at the end.
Brutal. Hey, and you're not even chopped off. Look at that. All is well.
Well done.
I just clicked to vote up Marfu. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, they don't let spectators vote. I mean,
so sad.
With spectators' voting rights, really, it's 2016. Should be able to upvote.
Fraggy wasn't one of the 4, interestingly. I thought he played a pretty big role.
I wonder who had the most damage on both sides. I guess we'll never know.
I'm gonna go with who do we think had the most damage on both sides?
Well, Himsy Whole Hogs definitely can do a lot of damage, but the boosted Reinhardt can also just crush everything.
But only for, like, I want to say, like, only for small periods at a time. I feel like maybe one of the Zaryas could have crept in there, or if we had a couple of good Reapers.
Well, Zappis on Hanzo actually is a candidate as well. You never know. That's sneaky Hanzo. Alright.
So that means I'm going to go ahead and update this. Ninjas in Pyjamas are currently 1-0 up against Team Dignitas, and poof! There we go. I have magically pushed a point into Joshy's direction as we move on to Hollywood. So apologies for those audio issues. I should have thought of just getting Joshy to host that a lot sooner, to be honest. But it looks like we are all good now.
Yeah, it happens. And
he says 30 seconds before, and it'll be fine.
all this stuff happens every time. It's just a matter of what thing will go wrong and when. But we are all good now, and Hollywood... Another map coming up here that does favor Ninjas in Pyjamas with this playstyle that they've got on payload. They just seem to have the coordination. Basically, their tanks know what they're doing. The supports have an easy time keeping them up, and as long as they're getting kills, there's really no problems for Ninjas in Pyjamas. So Dignitas may need to even think of another strategy to try and counter this. Last time, they went with Tracer, Reaper, and Mercy to try and basically outlast or out-sustain, but it didn't quite work out for them.
Well, they definitely need another answer, that's for sure. I still find it so weird, by the way, with R tier on Lucio. I don't think I'm going to get used to this for a little while. I'm so used to him being such an effective McCree. I just find this so strange.
People are commenting on your chosen green screen background. They think you're in a warehouse or something.
I'm in a warehouse. I could put the StarCraft Pikachu Zerglings back up. It's
maybe next time.
Strange. Well, maybe not so strange. Fact, it's actually not too different to a warehouse right now. Behind the green screen are an awful lot of boxes, guys. I basically moved into my new house 2 weeks ago, and there are quite a lot of boxes here still left to unpack. Obviously, esports came first, and I went out of my way. Where are the lights? Where's the green screen? Where's the computer? Set that up first. Everything else can wait. Much to the dismay of my flatmates, but you know, priorities are priorities, right, man?
Totally. Yeah, you got to be comfy in your own living space. Make sure your man cave is set up, even if it is the front room.
Oh yeah, the front room's totally like the casting studio and the man cave. Nobody is getting nobody's getting a word in edgeways here. Definitely. If there's streaming, it's all gonna be here.
All right, well, doors are about to open, so we do have a final look at the defense here for Dignitas. It's going to be Reaper and Junkrat for DPS, Roadhog and Reinhardt for tanks, Anna and Lucio for the supports, which is kind of interesting. No Zen and no Mercy for the side of Dignitas, while on the offense it is that expected triple support, triple tank again, but with Zappos starting out on Hanzo, we'll be switching to Zenyatta most likely after point A.
See if that ends up coming through there as Fraggy getting caught just a little bit on that excellently placed trap from Junkrat. Takes a lot of shield damage, but that will, of course, be able to reset. Both teams now collapsing in, and Numlocked actually being able to get the first kill in the battle of the Reinhardts there as they move forward. Very forward defense, and Team Dignitas are going to scale it back a bit.
As we move forward now, yeah, Bromas and the rest of Dignitas just chilling on the cart, waiting for the offense, not overextending, not chasing down extra kills or anything like that. We've still got 3 minutes for the attacking team. They have a couple of ults available now, and Canel's Nano Boost will probably be used on Fraggy to try and start this fight. And yes, he comes out the gate running. Bromas catches the Nano Boost, but immediately Wraith walks, so he's actually going to lose a little bit of time on that, but he does find him. Fraggy getting a couple of kills there onto the point. That's a third for Fraggy, but Bromas managed to get a couple of kills of his own, so we actually have a fairly even trade across the board. It's just the supports and tanks left for Ninjas in Pyjamas to try and take this first point.
Junkrat trying his best to hold off as long as he can, and he actually buys enough time for Reinhardt to get here. Very close to being captured. It's a sliver away, and they will manage to do it. So Numlock opting to fall back there, not wanting to risk the maybe the time if any spawns change, for example. He needs to run a little bit further. Here comes the Earth Shadow trying to save his teammate. Himsy was asleep, gets knocked out of the way instead, and triple kill coming the way of NIP.
NIP just doing a great job there in that very close quarters area. Zappos just launching arrows into it while the tanks take the brunt of the damage. But on the other side, on the defense, Linkser has actually swapped over to Genji. Toxicin was on Pharah very briefly and is now on Winston. So they are regrouped now to try and get control of this cart once again.
I want more Pharah. Joshy, make him switch back.
I'm sure that if the offense would allow him to play Pharah, he would.
Alright, here we go. Zap is coming in with the... Oh my goodness. And look, once again, for a let me go ahead and sort that out. Guys, I just lost connection to the game, which is really awkward.
Well, there was... I can kind of radio talk through it. There was a lot of ults used on the side of the offense. Sound Barrier, Whole Hog, Transcendence, and the Nano Boost all allowed them to break through the defense here. Actually, no, not Transcendence. It was the Dragon Strike from Hanzo, and then he swapped onto Zen after dying. But they are going to secure checkpoint B as we continue forward now. They just secured point B. They're moving forward to try and stop the defense at the first corner in the sci-fi stage.
Now they're moving around the corner. And one of the cooler features, I suppose, if you get disconnected from the game and you come back, you're actually going to hear the background music for the rest of this cast. So we get to hear some epic Overwatch theme tune as we move on through the rest of the streets of Hollywood here. That's something I discovered a couple of days ago, and hopefully we'll be okay for the rest of this, but thank you very much for holding on there nonetheless. Linkser being very sneaky, trying to come around the back a little bit, but it is going to take him a while to get into the city.
as we do move forward, it's going to be Fraggy leading the charge as we expect Artier dropping his sound barrier. Again, Artier on Lucio, kind of an interesting thing is he used to be one of the best McCrees around and has been shuffled around the Dignitas roster for different roles and is now on the Lucio, so kind of interesting to see that as we keep this battle going. But Ninjas in Pyjamas, everyone's sticking to their best expertise, tanks and or supports here, and doing a great job. Bromas gets slept very quickly during this fight and taken out by Himsy, so really good combo there. Graviton Surge ends up wiping the entire defense.
And Fraggy nano-boosted Reinhardt as well, managing to get the kills in the meantime. That actually allows 4 kills to go ahead for NIP right now, and Dignitas are in danger of simply the payload moving all the way through with still 3.5 minutes remaining. This is absolutely excellent stuff there. And here comes the Genji with the Dragon Blade, trying his best to get some slicing done, but Linksa goes down very quickly indeed.
The Transcendence actually saved the offense briefly, but look at this. Fraggy actually almost snuck the card in behind Numlocked on that defensive Reinhardt, but thankfully Anna and Reaper were there to try and stop that free cap. Linksa is back on the Genji and Artier back on Lucio. Means that Ninjas in Pyjamas, maybe they can get a kill or two, but otherwise they're going to have to wait for the rest of their squad. Finally getting it now. Graviton Surge actually helps out quite a bit. Toxicant on the Winston, the last person standing. They try to switch off as Numlocked comes in, but as a quick Zen Discord Orb and Blast from Himsy seals the deal. 3 minutes remaining, so pretty good time set by Ninjas in Pyjamas overall. Dignitas lost every ult battle basically throughout that map.
That is, well, I mean, they kind of lost the ult battles on Dorado as well. They really need to find a way just to be a little bit more coordinated in those team fights. It's actually okay if you lose slightly more than 50% of them, I want to say, because there are certain key battles you want to win, like just before you cap a point or stuff like that. But right now, it does feel like they're losing a disproportionately large number of those team battles. Would you say that's like a composition issue, or just players being outplayed, or what do you feel is the case here?
Well, their point A defense kind of left a lot to be desired. Things went very awry when they were a bit split up. Anna hit a nice sleep dart on the way in, and essentially they were fighting 5v6 and they were somewhat fragmented. So I think positioning could be a little bit better, possibly composition, as they only had Lucio and Ana to start off on point A. Mercy Res could have come in handy there, starting with Zen could of course also come in handy rather than the Ana. I'm not a huge fan of Ana as just a second support. I really like her as a third, as Pyjamas have been using her, but Lucio, Zen, and Mercy I feel all still have the better kit. Unless you've just got a focused strategy, which Ninjas in Pyjamas basically is just nano boost Fraggy every time, and it works out for them. But on defense, they couldn't quite get it going.
Yeah, to be fair, the nano boosted Fraggy is just basically nerf. I mean, it's pretty good. Every single time he's had a nano boost, he's managed to influence a fight in a big way by splitting the enemy so that his teammates can rack up kills, or he's been grabbing 2 or 3 himself. So his communication with Kinel has just been absolutely fantastic, and their timing has really been top-notch here.
Alright, and keep in mind everybody, this is time bank rules, so you will not see a time to beat. There's no stopwatch real element to this. It's basically just go as far as you can, and Dignitas out the gates now. We'll see how they try to get started here.
Now moving in, Linksa on Hanzo once again, trying to get a little bit of damage done. Getting Discord Orb very early on, actually, and dropping to below half health. He can't do that. Numlock going down, meaning there is absolutely no shield for Dignitas now as well. He is a particularly important first pick off, and that's actually going to give NIP free room to reign in terms of being able to come back in. Kinel, in the meantime, boosting ult so quickly as a result of his team. Don't forget, it's not just about being a good Ana, it's about the rest of your team staying alive so that you can heal them as well. And that means that, oh man, they're going to have nano boost much earlier as well. Here comes Fraggy, absolutely tearing through and forcing Dignitas back.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic actually. The tanks get hit so much that Anna is able to build ult off of them just getting hit, just by healing them. So she builds her nano boost so fast in this specific composition where she knows that any of her 3 tanks are going to need healing at any time. So Kinel can actually just always be shooting his teammates to get that ult charge up super fast, and he's already at 50% toward another one.
And it's slightly awkward as well because Bromas, I mean, you saw actually, Bromas got nano boosted on the Reaper, and he's just not having the same effect as Reinhardt has because you can't actually get into an enemy line quite as quick. Oh, hang on a second, there is a massive Graviton Surge coming on here. We're going to zoom back out into that. Himsy and Seda getting a kill each. Numlock managing to grab one back for Team Dignitas here. They've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to cap point.
I just saw a very funny, what we would call a non-bow in Magic the Gathering, essentially 2 moves that cancel each other out. I saw Fraggy pin a target, but then Himsy hooked it almost at the same time, so the target actually went behind Reinhardt, saved him, and Himsy got the kill instead of Fraggy. So it was just really funny to watch play out at the same time that the Graviton Surge was happening. Everything went the way of Ninjas in Pyjamas. In the end, there's a Graviton Surge on the side of the offense, catching 4 members of the defense. Dragon Strike through the middle, but everyone gets out in time and manages to stay alive. Lynx gets 1 kill on Fraggy to start things off. That could be enough. Canel going down now as well, but kills going either way. Ninjas in Pyjamas still may be able to hang on even after losing a couple of key members, but no, Dignitas finally breaking through, and a big part of that is Lynx having free reign on Hanzo as the tanks basically keep all the targets corralled in the corner. They are going to cap point A.
Man, that was actually the first time I saw Fraggy nano boosted where he wasn't able to kill anyone. The Earthshatter got 4 people. He left, I think it was Drakeus, on like 10 hit points on the floor and didn't finish him off and came out of that fight with no final hits to his name. And that also coincidentally happened to be the fight that Dignitas won and managed to push through NIP. So just to note there, Fraggy's been doing good work, but that very last fight, he didn't actually get on the scoreboard.
As the Graviton Surge Dragon Strike comes out again, it actually looks like Lynxer may have been a little bit out of position as the Dragon went past. The Graviton Surge did not collect any kills. Fraggy with that nano boost again, getting 2 quick kills, and Himsy and Co cleaning up the rest. Everything looking good for Ninjas in Pyjamas again. They are just dividing and conquering. Once Fraggy gets that nano boost, he's free to take on the world, while the rest of the team really just goes into lawnmower mode and takes out whatever's directly in front of them.
Oh, and a nice attempt at an initial hook there from Himsy, timing it to perfection, but he actually gets hooked back. Lynxer, of course, on Roadhog himself, and here we go. We have, wow, is that Tranquility coming out from the side of NIP? It is indeed. So Zap is managed to use that, getting that move up very quickly. He's already 15% off the way to a new Transcendence, and Himsy not quite able to make it stick as Dignitas finally get a foothold onto the middle ground.
And just saw basically the fight kind of fall apart as Fraggy was deep, but he did not have the actual nano boost going, so he was just swinging for the fences even though he didn't actually have the support there with him. Reaper, Bromas actually digging into that backline meant that Fraggy was not going to be kept up very long, and Dignitas finally get a fight to go their way as Bromas was able to get into that backline. But now as we move forward, Sound Barrier going to be very important as he does start with it. R-Tier giving his team 500 extra HP to get started, but the rest of Ninjas in Pyjamas, of course, they're just going to back off. The Earthshatter hits both tanks. The pin catches Numlock, and Graviton Surge catches everyone else. And that's going to be an easy team kill again.
Oh, and that is 4 kills from Fraggy. Really nice charge into Graviton Surge, into, excuse me, while I go ahead and swing this left and right. And that is an absolute beauty for Ninjas in Pyjamas, as Team Dignitas basically get knocked flat on their backs. They have, though, been making progress. They've got a minute and a half still to make sure the payload reaches its next checkpoint.
The Graviton Surges have been really good throughout this second game. The first game had a couple of, questionable ones on either side, but every single time, this time for Ninjas in Pyjamas, it has been completely on point. Mapu doing a great job. I see Himsy getting hooked to get started. Lynxer actually popping the whole hog. Bromas with the nano boost, able to get a lot of damage as well. Himsy, Canel, and Mapu all falling to Bromas throughout that. Dignitas is going to get a little bit more mileage. They only have 1 minute left to push this next checkpoint. They should be able to get it here as the defense spawning all the way in the back. Not going to have time to make it.
Not again. Coming back in. Go ahead and keep talking.
Okay, so it's actually Dignitas taking point B. The defense, Ninjas in Pyjamas, posting up. There's 2 minutes, 20 seconds to try and finish the entirety of the map. Of course, Ninjas in Pyjamas sitting comfortably with 3 minutes in reserve for the time bank swap if we get to that point. Sound Barrier and Graviton Surge both coming out. There's a Transcendence, keeping the defense alive as much as possible. Himsy and Fraggy going off, getting a couple of kills each. It looks like Ninjas in Pyjamas should be able to hold here. The limo has barely moved into the side-by-side at all.
very difficult situation for them here as they move on forward. The limo now, I mean, they've still got 2 minutes and they are spawning reasonably close, so there will be plenty of opportunities now for these guys to go ahead and move the payload back on. In reverse, just for a moment, Linkster actually gets pulled into the building, but manages to escape thanks to Numlock being there, and that is a very quick ultimate coming up from him. He wants to take out Roadhog, and unfortunately, he's the one that gets taken out. A little bit of an overextension there from it.
Mafu hit half the team on the cart with the Graviton Surge, while the other half of the team ran into the set piecemeal and basically got annihilated. So Ninjas in Pyjamas doing a terrific job, basically with just sort of a death ball. You've got the 3 healers sitting toward the back, the 3 tanks sitting near the front. Actually, Mafu is playing it almost like an artillery cannon, staying very close to the supports at the very back line. But Earthshatter catches several members of the attacking team of Kin, does not connect for Fraggy. Whole Hog knocking people every which direction, but the payload is not moving, and that's the most important. Bromas trying to get some kills onto the supports, has kind of given up on going straight after the tanks like he was. The tanks are actually all still standing now for the defense. We've got deaths going either way, but the tank's still standing, and Mafu with the Harmony Warp and a max charge, dishing a ton of damage. Himsy just needs to hit those hook combos, and he's going to get a ton of damage as well. And Ninjas Pyjamas, despite looking like a losing battle, are able to hang on once again. 33 seconds left for Dignitas now.
And this is going to be the last fight. It's now or never for Team Dignitas. If they want to go ahead and complete the map here on Hollywood, they were held on Dorado. They can't afford for this to happen again. Numlock getting hooked in, and Fraggy going in at the moment to start things off. Oh my goodness. Nano boost, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I'll take that.
Just rotating the ults makes such perfect sense here. Transcendence and Sound Barrier, of course, are the life-saving ults, but the CC ults, Earthshatter, Whole Hog, and Graviton Surge, you can basically just rotate through and almost get a team wipe every single time. Ninjas in Pyjamas so efficient at these combos, and they are going to take the second map as well in this best of 5 series. Only one to go for them.
And that is, I mean, that was incredibly strong coming out from these guys. Hang on, let's go ahead and move on that back. I keep hearing final score. I hit the caster screen and then it's like, no dude, no, we got this. And oh wow, can it be, and are we going to see a play of the game that isn't Fraggy? I think we need to talk about this.
It is Fraggy though.
Yeah, so will we see one that isn't in this series?
Oh, I see.
The odds on that right now is that it's actually pretty close. I don't know how to call it.
Well, he's got the nano boost, so that definitely helps.
Maybe the next one can be Bromas.
Maybe the next one could be Canel for actually hitting the nano boost.
I did think that the even though they lost the map, Team Dignitas had like one super sick good nano boost into Death Blossom that I quite enjoyed, and Bromas no doubt would have quite enjoyed as well.
Yeah, but I think the issue was it was kind of like their only way of moving forward was the nano boosted Reaper actually hitting something, because so many times they kind of stumbled along the way on attack. But we will be heading to a third game now. Dignitas can try to collect themselves and pull off their anti-triple support, triple tank comp as best they can on Eichenwalde, or Eichenwalde, I guess.
Eichenwalde.
That's how the robotic Athena pronounces it, at least, when you get there. Welcome to Eichenwalde.
Well, before we welcome you there, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and hop to a quick commercial break. When we come back, it'll be map number 3 and Eichenwalde for your viewing pleasure. Welcome to Eichenwalde, ladies and gentlemen, where this is the venue for game number 3, potentially of 3, in the battle between Team Dignitas and Ninjas in Pyjamas. And at the moment, Ninjas in Pyjamas doing an incredibly good job and currently winning by 2-0. Dignitas have to pick things up, and they have to pick them up quickly.
Alright guys, this is the new map, Eichenwalde, so you can learn a thing or two from these pro games. This is actually the first match that I've cast on this map. It's been in the pool a few times, but has never actually made it to actually be played, so I'm very excited by this opportunity. We've got Ninjas in Pyjamas, a great triple tank, triple support comp again on the defense, and Dignitas attacking in, using Toxicant on the Junkrat, expecting lots of battles at this choke. It totally makes sense. Farah can actually come out here as well, as she does have a lot of cover around this first point, but Junkrat is going to be the choice. Defense hanging on tight so far.
Yeah, the Junkrat is just so much fun on this first point. For those of you who haven't played this map yet, basically treat this as like a hilarious version. I say hilarious, just a really fun version for Junkrat of Point A on Dorado almost. That arch going into the marketplace, well guess what? This basically is similar to that as well. We have got, Toxicant coming in with the Riptide. Oh my god, and he gets absolutely blown to smithereens by Fraggy.
I want to call out Himsy, actually. Great positioning there. Managed to keep his team alive. He actually hit a hook that threatened to kill one of his teammates, and then as the fight continued on, he basically was just playing corners and not allowing himself to get taken out. Fraggy was taking the brunt of the abuse from the attacking team, but Himsy was basically orchestrating all the kills, so everything looking good for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Again, they had a really good kind of dissolution, I guess. Once they came through the underpass, the team kind of spread out, and it looks like they're pretty well practiced here to continue that defense.
So this archway particularly important. It's basically, it can be argued to be the best defensive point here. Certainly a lot of teams get held here, especially in competitive mode. A lot of fun things happen. Master with the Graviton Surge, though, we're going to come in and try and make the magic happen. Himsy moving on in and grabbing a double for himself. Fraggy is going to be a little bit greedy, though, and he gets that excellent Earth Shatter. Oh my goodness, everyone's on the ground. That was not with Nano Boost, by the way. There was Earth Shatter available before then. Nano Boost is still available. There are still 4 ultimates right now. 4 Ninjas in Pyjamas, and Dignitas are absolutely floored.
There's just a pile of corpses here from Dignitas' attacking team. Winston actually had a really funny ragdoll where he kind of face planted into one of those dead bastions littered around the point, but that was a huge res into a huge Earth Shatter. Really bad luck there for the attacking team, not expecting that huge CC ult, but now Earth Shatter coming up for the side of the offense, actually getting a lot of damage, and Canel goes down very quickly. Fraggy looks like he caught the nano boost, so he's going to be high-powered for a little bit, but as that wears off, he's going to get taken out. Himsy still getting the bulk of the kills here for the defense, but the res means that Dignitas is going to have an even better shot of trying to take this point. Finally, Himsy goes down to the Dragon Blade. Lynx trying to find the 2 supports now. That's all that's left here for Ninjas in Pyjamas. I think Dignitas have done it with 1:10 left.
So a couple of interesting points there. First, as you just watched towards the end there, if Lynx's Dragon Blade was actually 8 seconds instead of 6, he probably would have killed off both supports. He would have had 2 extra slashes there. But also, at the start of that engagement, Artia, please, let's call this guy out. Excellent Graviton Surge, and he held Fraggy, who was nano boosted in that Graviton Surge, and allowed Toxicant enough time to jump down the other side and get the pick off onto Ana, or basically contribute towards that. So that was a big moment, because otherwise Fraggy could have come in and grabbed a double or triple, and here we go. We have a Graviton Surge again, and I'm out of the game.
Both times, maybe Graviton Surge is actually crashing your game. That could actually be something worth investigating, because it seems to happen, actually, at least the last 2 times. But as the fight continues on, Fraggy against Numlocked in the Reinhardt hammer-swinging battle, Fraggy comes out on top. Lynx is actually the only member of Dignitas left alive. He's pushing the cart out of the gate a little bit so that they can at least get free from that choke. Ninjas in Pyjamas did lose the bulk of their team as well, so Lynx is single-pushing. Bromas has joined him now, and Drakeas, so they are going to push this cart around the first corner, almost to the second corner, before Ninjas in Pyjamas starts to engage again. We've got Himsy on the high ground, trying to hook someone up with a combo. Lynx is actually going to pull out the Dragon Blade as the sound barrier comes out for the defense, so a little bit negated, looking for some kills on to Canel, but Lynx are still going back there, just has not found any kills. Finally dies to Himsy. A res is going to bring Lynx, Bromas, and Numlock back up onto the cart. Fraggy goes down, and Ninjas in Pyjamas on the back foot a little bit here.
And believe it or not, I've re-entered the game twice while you were saying that, so hopefully all is fine now. It feels like every time, I hope it's not every time someone uses an ultimate, otherwise in these pro games we could be in for an awful lot of trouble indeed. Bromas coming in, and Toxicin grabbing a triple kill as they move further forward. We're looking at the castle doors, and that, I mean, that is one magnificent building, isn't it? I'm going to zoom out here and just check it out.
Yeah, it's very medieval times. I'm sure they have jousting events in there when we're not actually pushing payloads, but as the defense comes streaming out, Graviton Surge catches almost all of them, but Transcendence saves them in the nick of time. Even Dragon Blade actually coming out. No, sorry, it was not Dragon Blade, it was just a series of dash resets there for Lynx, but they are going to manage to actually take out the bulk of Ninjas in Pyjamas. I see Corpse flying off the side there, but it is going to be Dignitas. If they can just kill Mafu, they can actually push this point. Himsy actually catches the nano boost before Anna goes down. How much can he actually get done? Basically nothing before falling as well. Dignitas do reach the point with 3 minutes left for this last stretch.
Oh man, and right now, these guys just can't catch the break. But that's okay because Dignitas are through, and they're trying to push the payload into the castle, and through the last point, the battering ram has broken down the door, and we now get to see the final point here of Eichenwalde. It is an absolutely stunning.
As we move forward now, Sound Barrier comes out for Artier and company. Dignitas moving forward. Artier swapped off of Zarya onto Lucio for this last stretch, and it seems to be working out. Lynx with the Dragon Blade getting a couple of kills before falling himself, actually frees them in the throne room here. They've got only a little bit of distance left to travel, but Himsy and Mafu just staring them down from the spawn. We've got Fraggy looping around to the other side. They need to contest this before this payload just slides into the point.
And this is very, very difficult. We now have a situation. Oh, Bromas needs to come in and make something happen. There is the ultimate. Manages to get two. That's great, but we actually have kills flowing both ways right now. Dignitas are doing their best to try and come back and sort this out. And Fraggy, oh man.
But he's so far away. He actually chased so far that it allowed Numlocked and Lynx to actually push the payload. There were two members of Ninjas Pyjamas actually out there just trying to battle by the front door for some reason, but Numlocked and Lynx both there able to push the cart and actually set a time. 1 minute 36 remaining in that time bank.
And that, I mean, apologies guys for the screens. It's like all sorts of issues as we pop back into the game, but hopefully everything is nice and smooth. Now, Team Dignitas, the big news is that they have been able to secure themselves a completed map here on Eichenwalde. The question now is whether or not Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to be able to better that and consign them to a 3-0 defeat. They are, of course, staring down the barrel at that if they are unable to hold here right now, but they have given themselves a good platform from which to proceed.
It's true, it seems, actually, oh, our overlay was swapped.
It was, like, we sorted that out as soon as the reconnection happened, and then we went into the info screen, and it was like, ah! But I sorted it out. We lost, like, 2 seconds.
Alright, no problem. Well, Mafu and Fraggy Himsy on the attack this time around. They are actually sticking with that same offense that they showed in the last 2 games on Dorado and Hollywood, sticking with Zappis on Hanzo to get started, and that makes sense for this choke again. Hanzo actually has 3 or 4 different places he can stand in this first area and just lob arrows into that choke point, trying to break it free, and a Dragon Strike definitely can clear that entire area. So not going with Junkrat. Lynxer is actually going to stay on Junkrat on the defense this time. For the same reason, though, basically just to spam that choke.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally a fan of Junkrat, but that's just because I quite enjoy the idea of indiscriminate damage, so I'm ever so slightly biased in that regard. But the choke point is really difficult to deal with because your alternative is going into the left-hand room, and that's kind of like almost like these small rooms on Temple of Anubis, if you like, where Symmetra sets up a lot of turrets. It's just such a difficult choke to deal with, and that means, in order to actually progress, you need to walk straight through Lynxer, and that is something that, at the moment, NIP are not doing a very good job of.
No, that can be quite difficult, especially with the bomb traps set by Lynxer. Good job killing 2 tanks with that instead of just 1. And we see Zappa's already set up on Hanzo, trying to shoot some shots in there, but the tanks on the side of Dignitas doing a good job actually just staying out of vision until they are ready to strike back. So now that the tank lines are here on both sides, it's going to be Ninjas in Pyjamas actually driving the action here. They need to get those ults built up so they can actually try to dislodge these defenders. Nothing really happening either side, just a war of attrition post-battle going on so far.
I think what they want to do, oh, hang on a second, as Linkster tries to get something done. Are we going to see the Riptide? There's actually quite a lot of room there. Oof, never mind, that gets taken out very quickly indeed. We need to see, by the way, Zappis. Oh, hang on a second, never mind. We do not need to see that because Fraggy is moving on in, and nano-boosted Reinhardt gets taken out.
It actually it helped the team move through the underpass a little bit, but Mafu was not there with the kills, so even though they surrounded a member of the defense, they were unable to capitalize on it. Bromas and Lynx getting the last couple of kills there, and Dignitas hanging on. This could actually be their map. Finally, things are looking favorable for them after the first 2 maps solidly going the way of Ninjas in Pyjamas.
I feel like we definitely need to see a situation where we have Hanzo sort of pushing through with his ultimate as well, maybe with Fraggy being nano boosted at the same time, to just get them through that pass and actually give them the foothold that they need. This is possibly the hardest choke point on the map for these guys right now, and they have a lot of ultimates available, so let's keep an eye out for who chooses to use it when I'm looking at Zappis, really.
Our tier actually just bubbled.
Oh my god!
In time, but there is the Graviton Surge, Dragon Strike. Zappis shoots right through 3 of them, but the Mercy Res play of the game potential there brings back everybody, and there's another Graviton Surge, this time for the defense, and they are going to clean out that attacking team.
Oh man, and that was a story of Zappis and Bromas there, but Bromas is going to have the last word as he takes out Zappis, and Team Dignitas continuing to do a good job. Bromas getting put to sleep by Canel as, well, they actually need to get out their PDQ. Luckily, Wraithform will be able to help them do that.
Yeah, it was a great sequence, but the attackers do spawn a lot closer, and you can see them actually just surging onto the point after taking out the few remaining defenders. Toxicking gets hooked out of the hallway, and that should be enough there for Ninjas in Pyjamas to take A and get a nice start on moving through to B, but the tire coming out from Lynx does get shut down again.
Wow.
Credit with both of those tire kills so far.
That tire got killed, I think, with a melee attack. I mean, that's gutsy. But when you need just that little bit more damage, why not?
That's right. And now they are going to get a little bit of free space. This is playing out much differently than when Dignitas was attacking. Basically, last time Nip had plenty of time to set up on the defense. This time Dignitas really doesn't have much time. They are all the way up on the high ground here, so they will be able to choose their moment to jump down. Link's actually on the defensive Widow. It has been a while, and he's getting the Mercy boost.
I'm looking forward to this. We've been waiting for quite a while. And we are going to see some Widow. Oh, and he picks out Zappis, who is actually particularly influential so far on Hanzo. So doing a good job at the moment, getting a lot of pot shots onto Himsy and forcing him to come on in. Mafu is not going to follow suit, though. He's got a Graviton Surge, and we're waiting for the opportunity to come in. Canel also has Nano Boost, so I'm looking at Graviton Surge into Fraggy.
This is funny, when there's a Widowmaker in play, I actually just drop out of third person and only watch the Widow just to see how many headshots or how much damage they can actually get, because when I have a Widow on my team, I always just want to know how much are you actually doing, and if I can watch a pro player get headshot after headshot, it's like, alright, well, it's definitely contributing at least, even if they're not getting the killing blows.
Numlock there actually with an excellent Earth Shadow, by the way, to stop the team from going out. Oh, and finally, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, what was once the mainstay of every single team, Bromas, is on the McCree.
Lynx is still getting that damage boost as Widow now has the Recon Visor as well, so able to take as many shots as he wants on this huge targets, basically, from Ninjas in Pyjamas attacking in, but he is trying to find the softer, squishy Ana, Hanzo in the backline there, as well as that Lucio. But Sound Barrier coming out now for the offense gives them an opportunity. Dragon Strike comes out to try and clear the payload. Fraggy with the Nano Boost, and Reinhardt again gets a triple, followed by the Earth Shatter, catches 3 members, Toxicant and the rest falling now as they back off. Canel only loss here for the attacking team. Whole Hog actually comes out from Himsy. It was kind of an awkward spot, but if they could get the kill on Dracaeus, they do. That should be easy times getting to that last checkpoint. Linkster on the Widow still alive, trying to slow them down, but on his own, I'm not sure what he's going to get done against these 2 tanks.
Oh, wow! Managing to pick off Zappis, though, so he is trying to get a little bit. He's looking for Ana, the supports. He knows they're in the back lines, but will just about manage to stay alive beside that spot. Sata looking for Lucio, almost getting him, and Lucio still staying behind the wrong side of that ledge, and will get taken out.
Lynx hits the Lucio. Great play there by Dignitas. Lynx managed to stay alive, kill the Zen, kill the Lucio, poured in some damage as the battering ram reached that door, but it actually was Numlocked and R-tier on the Reinhardt and Lucio that saved the day on the payload itself. Drakeos back on the damage amp on Lynx, so now Ninjas in Pyjamas for the first time having to kind of struggle to figure out what to do here. Mafu swapping onto Winston is a good way to try to deter that Widowmaker.
In before we get the meta where Ana is nano boosting Widowmaker, Joshi. It's coming, I can feel it.
The accuracy has to be there. It's the only thing the impact.
What, you mean nano boost doesn't also give you tactical visor? Oh, well, never mind then.
Alright, we got a battle playing out near the battering ram itself. Kind of interesting. Craggy catching the nano boost again, trying to swap people off the sides here, but really just laying damage into Toxicant and R-tier. He finds Drakeos, trying to take him out, but he gets to fly away and res his team, so really good plays by Dignitas on defense again.
Needs to try and hold this here. 7 seconds left for Ninjas in Pyjamas to work this out. They need to be able to push on through, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to at this rate. Team Dignitas need this map to continue, and they will successfully hold on Eichenwalde.
Well done. So the best of 5 will not end in 3. Good plays there by Dignitas to keep them actually competitive and force at least a 4th game here. Ninjas in Pyjamas looked like they were going to run away with it with their really good play on Dorado and Hollywood, but Dignitas fighting back looked good on Eichenwalde.
And they're fighting back as well on another payload map. Oh look, we were talking about this before, but we do have a play of the game that isn't fraggy. Oh, and I mean that. Round 2. Let's play 6v12 here. That was pretty disgusting.
Yeah, they basically just undid a Graviton Surge and Dragon Strike, so really, really strong res there. Did allow them to hold A for another minute or so. So definitely well-deserved Mercy play of the game. And this time around, it's not all Ninjas in Pyjamas on the cards.
Yes, that's right. We've got a 2-1 situation. Let's go ahead and update that. I believe the scoreboard is approximately... There we go. So, Team Dignitas, ladies and gentlemen, 1, Ninjas in Pyjamas 2. And we will be going on to map number 4. Now, they've only got, here's what's interesting, Watchpoint Gibraltar and Volskaya left to pick from. And it is going to be Volskaya. So this could get weird.
Well, Volskaya, I actually haven't cast Volskaya in probably 2 months.
It's been a while.
Even the Overwatch Open that we got to cast multiple times never had this picked. In fact, to the point where some people in production thought that there were only 2 assault maps, Anubis and Hanamura. They said, you know, what was that other map with this rule set? And I was like, there's 2, guys. There's Volskaya too. But literally just never made it to the light of day. And this time we are lucky enough to see it. And 2 really good teams. Again, Ninjas in Pyjamas and Dignitas battling it out here. At least it's 2 very strong teams and not just like some open bracket Volskaya.
That's true. I'm really hoping, actually, that we end up getting a map of 5 between these guys. We'll wait and see. But that was particularly fantastic there to see Dignitas come back on Eichenwalde. 3 payload maps so far, 2 going the way of NIP, looking very dominant on Dorado and Hollywood, but Dignitas showing there is still some fight left in them, and they will be able to have the chance to even things up on Volskaya. Now, I don't know if either of these teams have been like scrimming or practicing or taking a look at Volskaya in any more detail. It's going to be very interesting for me to cast because even though we see the map, we don't see it that often. If maybe Reunited were playing, we'd be like, oh yeah, they just scrim on Volskaya all day long, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know anyone really taking Volskaya seriously at this point. It's essentially like rush down A, rush down B, so could see some characters like Winston, D.Va, Pharah potentially could come out here. Pharah actually is pretty popular on this one.
I'm in jail and I'm in a sewer. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at, hang on. Oh, God. Yeah, you guys really don't want to go back there. Basically, it's boxes and an ironing board. The important things when you move, guys, if you haven't learned, when you finish moving, iron your green screen. Do you know how long it takes to iron a green screen? I found out the other day. Joshy, you basically have to schedule an afternoon and a spa therapy treatment afterwards because, God, it takes a while.
Yeah, I've taken care to keep my green screen unfolded, so just actually completely unfolded all the time, so it should never wrinkle. I've got it pinned to the ceiling right now. You can actually see on the stream the very edge corner of it up above me. But yeah, I basically just keep it pinned up there and never wrinkles, so I never have to iron it. All good there.
Alright, so we're going to be moving on to Volskaya. Let's go, let me see. Dignitas on the left, which means, guys, we're going to hope and get this right first time. Boom! Yes, there we go. Didn't even have to switch overlays.
Alright, and you didn't even disconnect from that entire map. Oh wait, yeah you did. The double graviton.
Well, isn't that the map where I disconnected twice? In fact, I disconnected the second time so quickly that you just kept talking and I just went back in. It was fine.
Yeah,
but, it seems like things are a little bit more stable now, so fingers crossed this ends up being okay. Apologies for that, guys. Always going to be little hiccups, but it's about how well we recover from them and how closely we can approximate 750 characters per minute. Apologies if the frantic typing has destroyed any ears.
It should be fine. I haven't heard it at least. Maybe just once, but it was not thunderous. Yeah. Alright, so just waiting now for the doors to open. On the defense, starting out will be Dignitas. Actually, a soldier sighting coming out again now. Bromos on the soldier. Toxican starting out on that Winston. So a couple of the characters that we don't normally see coming out now. And on the offense, it looks like they're still sticking to that very tried and true triple tank, double support plus Hanzo. I
wonder if we're basically going to go to Li Jiang and they'll still have this composition. And we're going to be like, what? How can you do this? They are absolutely just sticking to it on all maps, aren't they? So we'll see how well it works out for Ninjas in Pyjamas this time around. They're currently leading 2-1, of course, versus Team Dignitas. We are here on Volskaya Industries. This is, of course, the Lenovo Overwatch Cup, and it is the group stage where these guys are fighting for seeding in the upper bracket if they manage to make it there, but they can still fall, of course, to the lower bracket by finishing 3rd and 4th in their group. No one gets eliminated, but it is important to get that upper bracket seeding for the playoffs.
That's right, every game is important here in these BO5, so Dignitas definitely do not want to lose it to Ninjas in Pyjamas. As we get started, you can see the teams posturing opposite of each other, and Ninjas in Pyjamas actually are going to be the first to move across the walkway, try and make this a melee fight. Charge from Fraggy, catches Numlock right away, but he is getting that Mercy Love, so Numlock should stay alive. Artier and Lynx getting the first couple of kills, though. Fraggy and Sita going down.
Oh, and Canel trying to pick off the kill, but won't be able to there as Toxican goes down, and it looks like kills being traded on both sides, but more importantly, the DPS on the side of Team Dignitas are continuing to shine through, and Bromas manages to pick up a double. Lynx are continuing with the support, and as a result, they are going to be able to hold.
Yeah, right now they're just kind of spamming down into the choke. Ninjas in Pyjamas have not even recovered yet. Fraggy getting out there early, just allowing some pressure to be put on while they wait for the rest of the team to get up there. Now they are choosing their route. It's going to be the high hallway, but check this out. Toxican as Winston is actually lying in wait in a very strange spot. He's going to run in and try and splash damage them, most likely once he gets a view of where the supports are at. But Himsy holding up the rear with Mafu means that Toxican is not going to get that opportunity just yet, and we're going to end up with that same sort of push that we saw the first time around.
Oh, he's sneaking around the back. The supports haven't found him yet, and he might be able to go in. He's looking for the opportunity. He jumps in, and everyone's still half a mile away. But that's okay, because Lynx comes on in with the Dragon Blade. He wants to get a couple of kills off himself. Gets hooked, though, and therefore isn't going to be able to find any slicing and dicing time. That's going to be particularly awkward. Drakeus now forced to use his ultimate. Bromas, with the tactical visor, able to get a double there. So he's managing to keep everything alive as far as they are concerned. But Dignitas are slowly getting whittled down, not without taking their fair share of kills, though. And it looks like they'll just about be able to hold on here.
They were able to hold on because of a really clever, interesting timing position change from Bromos and Drakeus. Actually, Soldier and Mercy damage amping him. They were able to run around the edge while Fraggy and all the supports basically collided into each other. Bromos and Drakeus actually just got out of there and were able to do a ton of damage from a distance. So that's Bromos' entire strategy, I think, is I never really want to be that close to any of these tanks, so I'm just going to run in circles and shoot from afar, and it worked out well for Dignitas.
Now we're coming back in. Zappis has got Transcendence available, by the way, so he could be looking to race car his way onto the point. They're coming in from behind, and this might actually happen very soon. There it is, trying to get out of the Graviton Surge. Fraggy, the only death at the moment as Himsy pops the whole hog, trying to clear the way. 2 kills at the moment for NIP, and 2 as well from Lynxa. coming up from Dignitas. He, at the moment, is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, Link's trying to play his heart out as it can be tough as a Genji against these mass tanks here, but he's doing a good job just staying airborne. Bromas still up on that high ledge, shelling down into the tanks. Now he sees Himsy on the Roadhog well in time to prevent dying, but now it's just him, and he is actually going to end up getting hooked down anyway. And Ninjas in Pyjamas looking solid to try and take point A here. Toxican back on the Tracer to try and delay things long enough for his team to get back. Toxican does fall, and it looks like the rest of Dignitas are saying, let's just play B. They almost managed to full hold A, though. Only 20 seconds left for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
And it's all about the full hold if you can get it, because now there's an extra 4 minutes to get objective B. So all of a sudden, all of those sweats are now dissipated. There's plenty of time for Ninjas in Pyjamas to regroup and take a look and see if they can grab a little bit of influence here. They just need that momentum. Now, this wasn't a one and done, of course, so it's not like one-sided crazy ultimate advantage over the other. It's 2 and 2. And we should know, by the way, that Linksa has switched off onto the main.
Yeah, Link's on the Mei now rather than the Genji. Once point A was taken, it does make more sense here for Mei. Nano Boost administered to Fraggy once again, and it's going to just knock the crap out of Nutlog, who's lying on the ground. And a whole hog from Himsy going to start early. Actually, the res coming out from the defense, it could be enough to keep them in this, but Himsy and Mopko get a quick couple of kills. There's a Graviton Surge, and Mei Ice Block in the middle. Blizzard comes out and does freeze several people on the point, but they will continue to capture, and they do stay alive while taking out Mei.
So I am straight up unsure about that res. I mean, I guess you have to do something, but it
picked up like 4 people.
Yeah, and then they get fed straight back into a meat grinder, though. It looked pretty impressive.
It's just they didn't get the damage out in time. I think the res was definitely the right move. They just did not have a really good follow-up. They didn't have any damage ults really to go with, and Whole Hog was still going, for example, when the res came through. So I think it was the right decision. It was just unfortunate that Nip were ready for it.
It's just really, yeah, I guess it's just really painful. When you res and you go, hang on a second, we just lost again. You're right, though. I mean, what else are you going to be able to do? If you have the opportunity, you have to take it. But these team fights aren't going their way, and that's actually something we were talking about all the way back on Dorado in Hollywood, wasn't it? We need to be able to find situations where you can consistently turn those team fights in your favor.
I want to give props to Ninjas in Pyjamas there. They actually went from the A take to the B take in a minute and a half, or actually only a minute 23. They only had 20 seconds left, ran right into B, and took it in the first swipe. So really good stuff from Ninjas in Pyjamas, turning potentially a losing endeavor into 2 points very, very quickly. And now it's going to be Dignitas' turn to try to attack in. We see Toxican on that Winston. Bromas starting on Soldier, even for the attacking team, could be interesting. It could still be messing with us, of course, as they do have 50 seconds left to try and set up, 60 seconds left to set up their defense. They could still switch a few times, but defense for Nip looking standard as ever for them.
Yeah, not really trying anything too adventurous. I mean, I'm looking forward. What am I looking forward to seeing from the defense here? I think if we see some pretty crazy creative positions for maybe Himsy to hook people up using the verticality on point A, that could be a lot of fun. I'd be interested to see whether that can happen. At the end of the day, though, it's really difficult for Ninjas in Pyjamas to be anything but the Fraggy show as things currently stand. I really want to see some Nano Boost and crazy action. It's very open here, so it's unlikely, or it's less likely, rather, that we see those 4 or 5 person Earth Chapters in the open. People are able to spread out a bit more. The number of corridors, unless your entire team is flanking, it's just very difficult to actually grab those at the same time.
It's true, it can be difficult to divide and conquer, so most likely going to be seeing them come in through the opening together and then kind of splitting up with that Winston and Genji taking on their respective targets. But the front line actually being held here by Ninjas in Pyjamas is a little bit different play than we saw out of Dignitas, where they were posted up on the high ground instead. And as we move forward, Fraggy just jumps right into the fray and starts swinging like crazy. Mafo gets a couple of kills just lobbing bombs into that hallway. Himsy gets a nice quick kill onto Lynx, and Ninjas in Pyjamas in no trouble at all to get started.
That is incredible. Seiza even picking up a double on the kill board there. That was completely comfortable, and we have to take a look at what's going on in the offense. We already have a switch up there going, guys, we actually lost that by a very comfortable margin, and Bromas immediately switching over to McCree.
McCree, alright. Actually our first McCree of this entire series. Kind of interesting to think that.
He has switched back onto it like very briefly on another map.
Yeah, Well, we did actually get to see any McCree action, really, so that's kind of interesting that it took 4 games for him to really come into play. And wow, quick start there for the defense again. Definitely taking out some important targets there with Bromoth and Numlock taken out immediately. Fighting still going on, but it's 4v3 in favor of Ninjas in Pyjamas, so they have to feel good about that. Artier returning to the fight a little bit late as Lynx and Toxican have fallen. Dracaeus also going down means Ninjas in Pyjamas have another 30 seconds or so before they have to encounter again.
This could end up being a little bit difficult as well, though, because for the next attack, they're going to find themselves in a little bit of an ultimate disadvantage. Canel has got his ultimate available, which means Fraggy will be able to get nano boosted. Zappis has Transcendence, and Fraggy has Earth Shatter. And this is before we start talking about Graviton Surge and how close Sator is to Sound Barrier. So we need to see a productive fight here, and Graviton Surge coming up to start things off. They want the ultimates to get wasted, and right now, oh no, and now, that was combo was coming from about a mile away, and all of a sudden they have, I don't know what, I mean, we have pentakills. What's like a 12 kill?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dodeca whatchamaha?
Dodeca kill coming out now for the side of the defense. But yeah, basically, they're used to this now, right? They're used to the Mercy Res undoing their first 2 ults. That time it was Graviton Surge and Nano Boost, and this time the Earth Shatter was held in reserve and to great effect. Everything working out for Ninjas in Pyjamas again. Sound Barrier coming out for the defending team to get us started this time. Going to help them even further. Toxican on that Reaper, just looking for his Death Blossom potential.
Numlock at the moment butting heads with Fraggy as they try and move on to the point. Fraggy actually getting at the worst part of that engagement, but both tanks are now going to be down. Himsy looking for Dracaeus. Anna trying to put him to sleep, won't be able to, and another triple kill for NIP. So maybe that situation, Joshy, was a little bit more interesting. The team gets wiped with the first 2 ults. Is that situation with about 2 minutes left on the clock? Do we really want to be using the res there as well? Yes, you bring your whole team back, but that really, really wasn't productive.
It's interesting because we've got now on the attacking team almost actually every single ult. Bromoth will have Deadeye here as well, so there's no Mercy in play this time around. They are going to start moving forward. Sound Barrier, Earth Shatter, Transcendence all coming out. You can see here another Graviton Surge here for the side of the defense. That's actually going to end up stopping a lot of them in their tracks. Fraggy's nano boosted, but he's also asleep. So sleeping nano boosted Reinhardt is first time seeing that, and Numlock to get slept and pinned immediately. There's still a couple of attackers left standing, but it's just Roadhog essentially now being surrounded by 5 players from Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they're going to hang on again. This is the position that Ninjas in Pyjamas were in themselves with only 22 seconds left to cap A, so Dignitas still could make it happen, but it's got to be now or never, or Ninjas in Pyjamas will take this series 3-1 in a great Volskaya performance.
Exactly right. We have to make it happen right now. We have Numlocked and Toxican with ultimates available versus 0 on the side of Ninjas in Pyjamas, and here we go. Dignitas, their final push, possibly their final play of the series here, unless they're able to do something spectacular. Numlock coming in, and no, they get wiped, unable to do it. Ninjas in Pyjamas successfully take the series by a scoreline of 3-1.
Excellent play there from Ninjas in Pyjamas throughout. Dignitas had a great hold on Eichenwalde, but the story of the series is basically just nano-boosted Fraggy, Himsy hooks, and Mafu grab surges. Everything timed to a T to allow them to take out this very tough opponent, Dignitas, and grab themselves their first win in this group. Is actually Ninjas in Pyjamas' first match of this entire group, so they're off to a solid start overall.
Oh, here we go. Dracaeus going to come on in with that. We were talking about the res that wasn't so, that perhaps wasn't so controversial. Here we go. They were actually quite spread out, so they didn't all get ticked off by the Earth Shadow straight afterwards. The second one, though, I have to say, basically, here you go. Have a mixing bowl, and here's the whisk.
Oh yeah, they're not always super effective. I mean, of course, bringing 4 or 5 people back to life is the right decision, almost always, and the only problem there was that they had no damage follow-up. They did not have like a Death Blossom they could hit immediately or a Nano Boost of their own or anything like that. So it was just, yeah, feeding them into the blender, basically, as you kind of described it. So
I think on point A the second time around, there is an argument to say the entire team died more or less at the same time. So if you save your res, they'll be without an Earth Shatter and without a Graviton Surge. And you're also quite close to spawn. So you save your res and say, let's trade that in for 20 seconds instead and go for round 2 4 ults against 2 rather than 4v4 or something like that. And I guess it's really difficult if you're in Drakeus' position and you have to make that split-second decision, but definitely the second time round, when you knew that Ninjas in Pyjamas had the ults available, maybe there's something to be said for keeping the res in your back pocket.
It's interesting because, yeah, they used Nano Boost and Grav Surge. They wiped the team. Mercy's sitting there with no team, so her options, again, are, yeah, hit the mass res, try and keep this fight going, or just die and join my team. Our spawn is very close, like you said. But then Ryan still has his Earth Shatter, and you could walk right into it again. So
sorry, yeah, it was the Graviton Surge and the other, the Earth Shatter was the one used. But at least you're not all stood in one place. I mean...
But it's tricky, right? Because you're battling against the clock, and Mercy's res builds quickly. So it's still, I think, the right decision. Anytime you can get a meaty res to actually just hit the button and
even when you've got maybe 2-3 minutes left available.
I think so, yeah. Just because she builds her ult very quickly, and that's her kit. If you sit on the res and you think what could have happened, that's equally bitter.
It's very
if
difficult,
you do end up
isn't it?
losing. Yeah.
So maybe still being figured out a little bit. But I have to say though, let's give credit where it's due. The Nano Boost and the Graviton Surge and wait for the res, here comes the Earth Shatter, was a trick that Ninjas in Pyjamas successfully used against Team Dignitas 3, 4, 5 more times throughout the series. And they were consistently applying that formula going, Mercy might be rezzing, this is what we do. And they were just consistently feeding the formula. So they did very well to keep reading that and keep executing it every single time. They were very disciplined in their play.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of practice exactly against all these now comps that basically they debuted this triple support, triple tank at the beginning of August, so it's basically been a month of them running it and teams all trying to counter it. So Mercy reses, I'm sure, very early on were like this is how we beat it. They don't have enough damage after their ults come out. So they're like, okay, well, we'll just save our ults. So we always have ults. Makes sense.
Let's talk a little bit about DPS as well. As Zappis was maybe showing us, is Hanzo now like going to be some sort of perma replacement for any like McCree soldier? Although we did actually see them sneaking in a little bit. Is that just a Zappis thing, or can we expect to see that from loads of other teams as well? I
think we're starting to see it a lot more often now. Dragon Strike combos very well with Graviton Surge, so the fact that Zarya is already everywhere helps Hanzo. Hanzo is actually very hard to get to as a DPSer. He can launch arrows from extremely far away and be just as annoying and provide wall hacks as well as scatter shots for just consistent damage. So I think that Hanzo is actually definitely coming back in a big way. It's not just Zappis. We've actually seen Snow on Method actually break out Hanzo a few times last week, and a couple of Hanzo players in the ESL King of the Hill I cast on Tuesday coming out from Tempo Storm and FaZe. So Hanzo is here and definitely quite useful at the moment.
All right, well, that's going to be it as Ninjas in Pyjamas successfully take the series in the Lenovo Overwatch Cup with a 3-1 victory over Team Dignitas. Don't forget, these are round-robin groups, so any of the teams can still make it to the upper bracket or fall to the lower bracket. There will be more games coming up as the cup progresses with ZP, Hex, and I'm sure others as well if they aren't around. So many thanks to Lenovo for being able to put this tournament on with that juicy prize pool for this online cup, and many thanks to all of you for watching as well. If you want to go ahead and give Lenovo a follow, we are of course at Jorisar and Ask Joshi as well. Let us know how things went. Hopefully we managed to recover quite well, I'd say. Eichenwalde into Volskaya. Things seemed to settle down a lot, and it was very cool to see the fight back from Dignitas, but it wasn't quite enough in the end.
All right, yeah, well played to both teams, Ninjas in Pyjamas and Dignitas. They still have a couple of matches left, so make sure to tune in to the Lenovo Cup in its further days. But that's the only series we've got for you guys today. Again, it was Luminosity versus Anox that needed to be rescheduled. That was supposed to be played today. Not going to be happening today, unfortunately.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for us for this evening. We bid you guys good night. Hope you enjoyed that incredible best-of-5 match. And we'll be back bringing you a little bit more Overwatch at some point soon, no doubt. For now, though, it's goodbye from us. See you later.
See ya.